Many people have been wondering what the hell exactly Facepunch has been doing since the launch of S&box, and even though I've recently brought this topic back up in a video, which you can see right here, there's still quite a lot in the works with what they're doing to improve the game to getting it up to par with actually being decent, not only just for developers, but mostly players. Now, as of recently, I've decided to go and take some questions that you guys have been asking from parts of the community and decided to go and put them into the Discord, as Matt, the lead programmer on the S&box dev team, mentioned that with asking questions, they're an open book. The first question a member from the community has asked was, what are the plans for the upcoming game jam? Matt's response was, Gary has blogged about the jam recently. It'll be done in a way that's integrated into the platform and encourages active early development instead of 100 entries 1 hour before the deadline. Another person mentioned, what is the ideal concurrent player count if Facepunch could wave a wand and see it happen? What do you guys feel that you're doing to get there? The game is broadly getting a poor reputation publicly, despite people who are trying the engine actually enjoying it as tooling. But what are you doing to turn this around in the eyes of devs and players? And what do they feel those in the community can do to actually help? Matt's response to this was, enough players to create meaningful multiplayer experiences. Another question was, can Facepunch please create a feedback/suggestions form that they can check regularly, because these things kind of get lost within the Discord? Matt's response to this was, they already have GitHub for feedback. Another question someone had asked was, I've always wanted a S&box mode that seamlessly incorporated VR, not a separate mode or just some way of developing a project on my own. Is that even something that they're working on? Matt's response to this question was, VR games generally need to be specialized, otherwise they suck. One person had mentioned, what happens if I add monetization to a game? Will I get banned, just lose play fund, or neither? Also, are there any plans to add official monetization through Facepunch, with Facepunch taking a percentage of the sales? Matt's response was, you can monetize your game as it doesn't make you ineligible for the play fund. Another person mentioned, are there plans for revenue sharing for assets? Like if I make a model and it gets accepted into the store, do I get a percentage of those sales from the secondary market? If so, if it becomes super popular and lots of people are buying and trading it, would I see any of that? Matt's response to this was, no revenue share for assets, it's too thin of slices of pie. Now, to get into my own personal thoughts, firstly, I really have to talk about the monetization response, because that's generally going to be the one thing I know many of you are going to focus on that alone. Not only that, but I'm not sure how to feel about this one, because the response and question don't have specifics on either ends for what monetization would look like within a S&box game. If you're adding that to your game, does that mean it's microtransactions or VIP packs or your own in-game optional cosmetics that players can buy? This is probably one of the most confusing things that I've seen by far from this response, and I'd really like to know exactly what specifics with it, because again, it just feels super generalized on both ends. On the FAQ section of the official S&box website, within the documentation, it does state that you are able to monetize your game, but it does mention that there are currently only 2 ways to make money, which one is by making community-made cosmetics, which gets picked by whomever runs the in-game cosmetic store, and then from there, each sale of each cosmetic goes to the person who's made that one specifically, just like Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike 2, and Rust. Now, the other method does relate to just getting paid normally through the play fund, which, if you don't know, has recently changed to prevent people who are trying to game the system and monetize their games either from AFK players or even paying people to raise the count to then just get more money from the play fund, that now there are requirements you have to meet before getting the ability to monetize your game. But with this statement, this does add more confusion, as Gary has even mentioned that he's trying to prevent the same issues that has been plaguing Roblox for quite a long time, which is the level of how monetization works, which obviously is heavily inspired by in-game microtransactions. But I've also found another interesting discovery relating to monetization, as there is an entire page separate from the FAQ that talks directly about how monetization is within S&box. Now, while it basically mentions everything I've described about how the play fund is currently, there's a banner that says this: our plans around monetization are evolving over time. Nothing is set in stone. We want to give developers all the opportunities to make money possible without harming player experience. Now, especially from Matt's response alone, you could tell where most people are going to be coming from as far as seeing that in the game. While the response is very generalized, I'm now curious how any of that is going to be implemented within sandbox games, because that can be quite worrisome for many who would hear that. I think the only good is that obviously it mentions nothing is set in stone with what's mentioned, so instead of doing it up, I'd like to rather see more suggestions of what would be preferred, as many people have been talking about this overall. Personally, I think that if you're gonna be able to monetize your game outside of the play fund, if it's described in a general sense like this, then you should be able to go and put up some sort of donation link for the developer through Coffee or whatever site that they use, or should be available as an option for many people that have mentioned that this would be a great alternative, and seems like it is possible, at least from this response. On the flip side, we definitely need more details related to that, because it kind of comes down to what people are going to do with that information. Well, I know I can't control the idea of what a person or developer is going to do with a game in Sandbox and how they'll monetize it. You can tell in all reality that there will definitely be people, as there has been in other ways before that, that wouldn't mind being able to just also figure out how to monetize their games, or even return back to the classic methods for server owners to create RP games or multiplayer games with servers that they can self-host, that then give money so that they can just keep running those servers with VIP packs or whatever else. Yes, the positives are the ability to have developers receive donations for the game, even if they're not on the play fund, which is an option, is definitely something that many have wanted as an alternative to how play fund works, and can be done for developers who want that. But to be fair, the negative aspects with how generalized this response was, that also means that there's a good chance of possibly seeing sandbox games riddled with monetization inside of it. Now, with all this rambling aside, this is what confuses me, and I might just be answering my own question here that I have for Facepunch, but their attitude with how sandbox is as a platform relates to 2 to maybe 3 different things, mostly 2 of these ideas of what could be responses to most of this stuff. The first one is quality will never beat quantity. Now, it seems wild to even say that with the current state of the game, but again, it's a user-generated content platform. Even though Facepunch has been taking a stance of anything that is obviously better or higher quality that players do want to play also comes from things that the community and players themselves feel are good and worth playing. This is basically their overall response and attitude towards this. The second is freedom of choice. Piggybacking off of the first idea, again, stems from players having the choice to play what games that they enjoy or want to play or are deemed actually worth playing, even with the new review system letting others know what games are worth playing and what other games are pure garbage. While the current issue is with idle clickers at the moment, there is some level of players who are playing these games, which, while baffling to me, as this is the same thing with Modelan, as it's just not for me personally, there are still players playing the game. Number 3, you can create whatever game you want. The trade-off between having a user-generated content platform and allowing people to make almost whatever game they want, technically, because you obviously can't make like some goon game or something like that.
Oh shit.
No. We won't allow porn games. People can create many different games, and this could probably divide part of the community, because knowing that Facepunch will allow certain games to exist on the platform, as going after one type of game will have to be all those types of games. It's just something that they're not doing unless it's directly an issue, such as web panel games, which is just clicking on a sandbox game that will directly take you to some random website. That's pretty much all I have for this video and my thoughts on it. Let me know down below how you guys feel about most of these answers, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.